Welcome to the Love Government. I'm Dennis Leary. We're doing this series of cards called Sex Cards. And we are now on the 50th card of this whole game, in the card game, or the 50th step or aspect of the lover. And that is called Joy. She is called Joy. The lover appears here as Joy. The love card, or the tarot card, is the Fool card. And there you see the Fool. All these cards have two sides. So the positive side of this card is called Fuel. And the negative side is called Fool. Joy is a fuel, because it burns within us like love burns. Love is a fire. It burns within us. And on the positive side, we can feel joy. Joy is portrayed here as a young woman, or maybe a man. It's ambiguous. We can interpret it the way we want to. Joy appears here as on the edge of a cliff with a small white dog barking, apparently behind her, and she looks like she's in a dangerous situation, like she's ready to fall off the cliff. She has a white rose in one hand, and she has a walking stick with a pouch, a red pouch, on her shoulder. So she's like a traveler, she's like a journeyer, and she's on the edge of a cliff. She's living on the edge. And we perceive it as a dangerous situation. But if you interpret it as the joy being protected by love, is not dangerous. Because it's not confined to a physical reality. There is more to life than is dreamt of in our philosophy. That's from Shakespeare talking to Horatio. Hamlet talking to Horatio. But love is our protection, is our greater reality. This card is only one card out of 52 cards. So there's a lot more to life than just the one card we might think life is. Love protects us, and we can walk on the edge and not be hurt. Love protects us. We're in the embrace of love. This picture shows a sun, indicating that love is powerful. And there's also a circle above her head, which means that we are in the circle of love. Love is a circle of fire, but we don't get burned up because we're protected by love. Love has our welfare at heart. This card, this is the 50th card, it appears up here, on this side I think here, 50th card here, and it's called the Wild card. Joy is the wild card of the deck, because joy can take the place of any other card, like a wild card. There's a story told in the Love Government book about joy appearing to somebody. I put it in personal terms. I say, I am lost in the woods, which in my life was true. I was lost, I was afraid, I was lonely, confused, cold, and very fearful. Lost in the woods. That was the situation of Dante in his great poem in the 1200s when he wrote that. So I'm lost in the woods, which is a fairly common human experience. And what do? I call out for help. Help, help, somebody help me. And then in the story, Joy appears. This figure, Joy appears kind of in the distance like a shimmering sprite. And she says, do you need some help? And I say, yes, I'm lost in these woods. I don't know my way home. And then she says, would you like to go home? I know of a home. I can take you there. And I say, well, sure, yeah. And she's kind of an attractive young woman, so I say, yeah, I'd like to go home. And she says, okay, we'll go home. And we'll go through this house. This house is our home. This house of consciousness or house of love is the home. But we have to travel through this. You have to have the experiences where you will experience yourself at being at home. So we're going to take a journey through this whole house. So you get to go home, and actually you're already home, but you have to go through these experiences. And that's why we tell the story of going through all of these cards, because all of these cards represent an experience or a problem, an opportunity, a challenge, something about ourselves that we need to know about and we need to know how to handle. Joy, therefore, takes us through the house and we're going home. We're stopping now at actually the card called Joy. So she's part of this game too. That's the joy we feel in life. The juice or the fuel of life is love, and that's a juice, that's a love, that's a fuel. It burns us, but it hurts good. It feels good. That burning, that type of burning, feels good. It's a burning woman. Not a burning man, a burning woman. She is the fool, though, also. She has a side called the fool. In a sense, we have to be fools also, but not be foolish. We need to sometimes act the fool. In other words, do things that is out of the ordinary, goes against the culture, is unconventional, challenges the system that we're in. That's playing the fool. In the king's court, there were jesters, there were fools, because the jester or the fool was allowed to tell the king the truth. Other people would be maybe killed or thrown out for being blunt about the truth, but the jester got away with it because that was his or her role. The king allowed it, the system allowed it. In the system that we're living under today, patriarchy, called loverarchy, called evilarchy, called a lot of things, we need fools around who are going to fool with the system by telling the truth, telling the emperor or the president or the king or the CEO that he or she doesn't have any clothes on. The child, the fool, the jester, can see a person's nakedness. They see people without their clothes on, without all the coverings, the lies, the pretenses, the hidings, the glamorality. We see ourselves naked in the naked truth. It takes the eyes of a lover to see that, to do that. It takes the eyes of a child lover to do that. Otherwise our vision is clouded. We're in the fog. We can't see because we've been manipulated. Our brains are not functioning like they're supposed to do. Joy will take us through experiences where that fog is lifted and we can see clearly, and where the hatred, the jealousies, the angers, the stuckness, the despairs, the despondencies, the suicidalness, the sufferings, the hurts, the angers, etc., 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 all the way, spell it out. That can be addressed directly through love, and joy does that for us, taking us on this journey. And she says, you can be right at the edge of the cliff here. You're walking a fine line, but you're protected. You're protected. The little white dog represents the culture that's trying to get us off our path, saying, don't walk so close to the edge, come back and join us. And, don't be a fool. Don't take chances. Come and get in with the crowd, even though we're miserable, we're unhappy, we're unsure, we're confused. But at least misery loves company, so join the crowd. We're not doing that in the love culture. We're walking as a free individual, like this figure here. We can walk close to the edge because we're protected. We can only do that if we're in love. You know, when you're in love, you're protected, right? That's why they say love is blind, because you don't see all the dangers anymore. You're simply so much in love that you don't care, and you're still protected. Or sometimes you say, when you're really laughing, and somebody can be hitting you, and you're laughing so hard about something, you don't feel it, you don't care, because you're in a different state. You're in a state of joy. That's what we're talking about. And as long as we're talking about it, we're really preventing it from happening, but still we have to talk about it. But we're not really quite there when we're talking about it, because then we're still having the talk as a separation between ourselves and the direct experience. But we talk and we go through these actions and ceremonies to set it up so that it's more likely to occur. So joy will appear when the circumstances are just right. She's like the wild card that just appears when we're ready for it. Joy means a journey of yourself, as an acronym. It's the journey of yourself. So now we have come to the 50th card here on our journey. And we are walking in our own path. We're having our own experience. We're becoming authentic. We're becoming aware of where the solid ground of love lies and where it does not lie. The dog, the little white dog, represents some negative things like pethood. The pets will drag us back into the culture. It will take us off our path. It will make us more safe, and we'll feel better. But it's a neurotic type of safety, and in the long run, it's destructive because it's a false safety zone. Also, another interesting thing about this card is that God is dog spelled backwards. So God or gods, that God system, that goddess or God system also will get us back away from the fine line where we need to walk, because it's a power over system. The God system is a power over system or a power up system. Anyway, it's a destructive type of power because it takes away our freedom. Instead of ourselves standing on our own 2 feet at the edge and still being safe, we don't have that confidence in ourselves, and then we appeal to an external authority source, which is a god or a dog or some other thing that's going to take us away from the experience of ourself, where the joy is, where the juice is, where the fuel is, and also where the fool lives, where we can speak the truth. Thank you then for being who you are and being on a journey of love, going to be a true lover. We thank you and me and all of us participating, those who we know about and who we don't know about, and we leave with a sign of love, which is like this, love always. Thank you.